Hi, Laura.
Hey, Steph.
How are you doing?
It's feeling real.
Today is the solar eclipse in Aries at 29 degrees, and we're recording live to tell you we are feeling it.
Oh, yeah. It feels super crunchy. It feels real. Something's happening.
There's a lot happening with this eclipse. And just before we hopped on, you were rattling off all of these like big pieces of the eclipse story. I think the first one being it's at 29 degrees. For the astro newbies, that is an anaretic degree in astrology. It's a point of crisis and tension and amplifying intensity. You also mentioned Mercury retrograde is going to station the next day. And then we have this square to Pluto, which Pluto I describe as the garbage disposal, the cosmic garbage disposal. So, or compost bin. So it's a kind of intense energy going on right now.
Very intense. I was sharing with Steph that I was listening to an astrologer named Christopher Renstrom speaking about the 29th degree, the anaretic degree, and like the origins of that. And there's many different origins, depending on like where you read and the history and which astrology you're asked. But the Greek meaning of anaretic is anareta, which means destroyer. And so I feel like if you think about it, back in ancient times, astrology was very doom and gloom. It was very faded, But he was saying that he feels this meaning is that the sun goes through a sign over the course of a month. So 29, 30 days, it gets to the 29th degree, and it's like transforming itself into something new before it goes into a different sign, which is going to be Taurus. And so it needs to let go. It needs to die. It needs to release something in order for it to become something else, which is Taurus, which is a totally different energy.
Yeah.
And we were saying that's how we kind of feel right now, is something feels like it's dying, metaphorically, of course.
Yeah.
So that we can birth something new.
Yeah. And I think it's just confusing energy overall, because with Aries, we have that momentum and that feeling of like, okay, something new is coming. We can fill this space. But then we have Mercury retrograde. This isn't a great time to move forward with stuff. We're going to be moving backwards. We're going to be reflecting and pausing. So there's kind of conflicting energy in this guy. And something else that I thought was interesting about this eclipse, I think it's going to have a lot to do with relationships for people who are stuck in toxic cycles or who aren't ready to shed connections. Every zodiac sign has different tarot cards that are associated with it. And this belt of the Aries degree is associated with the Four of Wands. And that is the card of harmony and balance and relationships. And this, being at the 29th degree, coupling it with the fact that this eclipse is ruled by Mars in Cancer, forming a square to Chiron in Aries, it just feels like whatever has been hidden and repressed regarding relationships will kind of bubble up.
Thank you for saying that, because we both believe eclipses are fated endings and beginnings. But when something is ending, we never think it's fated. We never think it's great. We don't feel like it's fortunate. We usually associate fortune to something good happening to us. But I just did a video this morning about 9 years ago when we had the eclipses it was kind of the same eclipse story. It was the north node was Scorpio, the south node was Taurus, and the eclipses were going between Scorpio to Libra and Taurus to Aries, but the nodes were different. It was like the node reversal. And so 9 years ago, in between the solar eclipse in Libra to the solar eclipse in Scorpio, I went through a major breakup. And I just say major because this was somebody that I thought I was going to marry. This was, I still believe he's my soulmate. But this was somebody that I literally thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And when that ended, I didn't think it was lucky. I didn't think it was fated because my entire life changed. But now looking back at those 9 years, so 9 in numerology is also an ending of a cycle. Everything that had happened since then was for me to gain independence, which is like an Aries signature. I had never been single before that point. I had never done anything on my own before that. And all of a sudden, I moved downtown by myself. I started traveling the world by myself. I started doing things by myself, which now everybody just knows as Laura Chung, you know. But before that, I wasn't like that at all. I was very codependent. And that's when I also started my entrepreneurship journey, and which is another Aries signature. So I really believe that if that breakup did not happen, if fate didn't take its course, I would have stayed in that relationship. And who knows? I mean, I might be out there in some different timeline with kids, who knows? But like, I truly believe that was a lucky thing that happened for me, because I cannot, and I was going through my Saturn return. So it was just like a cosmic thing that was going on where I was able to become the person that I needed to be. So if you're listening to this and you're going through a breakup right now, because eclipses do bring breakups, just know that you might not know why now, but maybe down the line, it'll all start to make sense.
Yeah. And that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And with that, its experiences are all new. And so I feel like this is bringing up a lot of different emotions and intense emotions. And in Aries fashion, like we're adjusting to that, right? Like rage may feel more potent right now. Like bliss might feel more, intoxicating right now. All of the things, because it's almost like the first time we're experiencing it. So just give yourself the space and grace to feel what's coming up for you. And if you are on the rocks with a relationship, eclipses don't necessarily mean it's the end, but it could be the end of an old pattern. It could be, and welcoming in a fresh, more aligned way of relating with one another. And like Laura said, this eclipse series that we're experiencing starting today is going to echo 9 years ago. And it's also going to echo December 2004 through June 2006. That's the last time the North Node was in Aries and the South Node was in Libra. So whatever was going on for you around those times, that thread is picked up once again.
Yeah, which is so funny you say that, because when 18 years ago, when the North Node was in Aries, I just entered a relationship, but a different one. So this is the axes about relationships, I believe, especially the one you have with yourself.
Yeah. During that time period, the 2004 to 2006, that was my first big relationship of my life too. So it definitely, astrology doesn't lie.
It doesn't lie.
So today we're going to unpack the eclipse just a little bit more for you all, but we also have channeled messages for each zodiac sign. So this is just a great way to see what comes up for you, listen to your sun, moon, and rising, and kind of mesh the messages together and take what feels aligned, and you can leave anything else. But we just we're going to start offering some of our guidance to you all.
So shall we start with Aries?
Yeah.
The star of the show. By the way, I finally purchased a Pamela Coleman Smith tarot deck. Do you have this one?
I don't have that one. I have
the Rider-Waite.
This one.
Yeah.
What is the main difference?
So a little history lesson.
Yeah.
Rider-Waite was the guy who was the leader of the Golden Dawn, the Hermetic Order, and he's the one that commissioned Pamela Coleman Smith to be the artist, but they didn't include her name in the Rider-Waite edition. Yeah. And so this is the Centennial edition, and this is her signature, Pamela Coleman Smith, and she is the illustrator of the deck. So she painted Yeah.
I knew she was the illustrator, but yeah, I didn't know. Okay, so that's amazing. So she must,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And she was a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
She had, I forget, oh, synesthesia. It's like a
She feels colors.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. And when she hears music, she sees colors. So
love.
she was very mystical. I think she was an Aquarius Sun with a Pisces Moon, I think. So like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, they were astrologers first. That's why, like you said, the tarot is based on astrology. Um, and she lived in New York for a little bit. She went to the School of Visual Arts and then lived in Jamaica for a little bit and then ended up in London. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
Love
cool.
this little lesson.
Yes. Okay. So, what is the message for Aries? Well, I don't think this is necessarily channeled, but I really do feel like all Aries have been getting some kind of boost since Jupiter ingressed into the sign last year, and then also with the North Node passing through Aries until 2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you have a lot of Aries placements. I don't know, something exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the Two of Wands, which is literally an Aries card, and then the Five of Swords. I think this is a message about looking forward. Don't allow the past and what happened in the past to hold you back from starting new. And I think it's exactly what you said. Some of us might feel a little scared. I'm an Aries Sun, about starting something that we've never endeavored to do before. But this is like a new beginning, not knowing the steps going forward. I forget that Martin Luther King Jr. quote that says, "You don't need to see the full staircase to take the first step." And I really do feel like, if I may say so myself, like Aries has the potential to be kind of in the spotlight. I think North Node is very like head of the dragon. It's about increasing. It's a point of like obsession sometimes. So like similar to when the North Node is still in Taurus, I think a lot of Tauri had a lot of fame and notoriety because people were more interested in like cooking and gardening and plants. And now I think the shift is going to move more towards like entrepreneurship and pioneering something and pioneering new ideas. But the fact that this came out too, five is a disruptor number, and this is an Aquarius card. I believe it's Venus in Aquarius. It's like, don't allow the experiences from the past to stop you from really doing this, like Mars and Aries, like branching off, taking action, a risk, and just getting after it. I mean, it can be scary because in tarot, this is called the Dominion card, I believe, right? It's like starting your own thing and waiting for other people to come.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, just as an entrepreneur, Stephanie is an entrepreneur as well. Like if you just do what you're passionate about, which is such an Aries signature, you will help somebody.
He has the world in his hands.
He has the
Or
world.
they do. They're holding the world. So
Yes.
yeah, I love that. It's powerful.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for Taurus?
Ready.
Okay. So I just had some little channeled meditations earlier and I took like brief notes. So I'm going to share some of that. And then I'm also going to just wrap up with the card. So for Taurus, this eclipse is taking place in your 12th house. The 12th house is a place of solitude. And the second I closed my eyes before I even associated the wheel and where the eclipse was coming, I heard rest. And I think this is just such a powerful and important time for you to say no, to honor your boundaries, to slow down. I also heard clean your sheets. So I think if you can go to your bed, your bedding, wash your sheets, make it comfy, make it cozy, and like proactively plan a date with yourself to just be in your own energy, that can be like restorative and clearing around this time. of the eclipse. So, and I think it will lead to new ideas. This is the Ace of Wands. So in order to get here to this point of inception and gestation and creation, you have to sit with yourself. You have to release what's other people's, what are other people's projections, thoughts, beliefs, and get in tune and reacquainted with your own frequency and energy. And then the ideas will flow. So that is what I have for Taurus.
The Ace of Wands is like one of my most favorite cards.
It's also a sexy card.
It's very sexy.
Yeah. So maybe in your solitude time, either play with yourself or play with someone else.
I don't know any Taurus that doesn't like that anyway. Yeah. Okay. Gemini, this is happening. I didn't know we were going to use the houses, but that's very helpful. Yeah. It's 11th house. So that place of wishes, hopes, and dreams. Also the place of friendships and community. So I think maybe, you're going to, which is such an interesting place for Aries to be in. So I feel like a lot of Gemini risings actually might maybe lead a group or lead a community. But we have the Knight of Pentacles. So knights are about movement, and this is the slowest one. But I think the fact that this came out, it's like take slow and steady steps towards your goals, because we all know Geminis to be a little like, such a stereotype. Absolutely. Busy bees. And I think this is just reminding you to take it slow, that the 11th house is like your bigger vision. It's like your, not like dream like this, but what you dream about and what you want to accomplish over this lifetime. And so remind yourself to take slow and steady intentional steps towards your goals. The Knight of Pentacles is also about manifesting through the physical body and eating wholesome food, exercising, taking care of your body, which I feel like is more of like an earth sign energy, and maybe Geminis don't really focus on that kind of stuff, but maybe this is a good time during this eclipse to do that kind of stuff. Because I'm just trying to think, where is Mars in Gemini rising? The second house? Yeah.
Yeah, but this is making me think of Mercury retrograde. This is so spot on. Like move slowly with your goals and your ambitions right now.
Yes. Yeah. And like, because I was going to say, for some reason, I'm seeing Mars in Cancer, because this eclipse is ruled by Mars, and really being careful with your money. I don't know where that's coming from, but maybe it's because Cancer rules your second house. Looking after your money and investing it wisely. Knight of Pentacles.
Love.
Sorry, that might not be sexy advice, but
you know what? Not all transits are sexy. That's the truth. So there you go, Gemini. Words of wisdom. Okay, Cancer. The first word that came through with Cancer was cleanse. Cancer is a water sign. There is no better way to remove stagnant energy, release limiting beliefs than taking a shower, taking a bath. Now this eclipse is taking place in your 10th house. So that is the house of accomplishments, public recognition, your work and your career. And when I was thinking a little bit more about, I'm like, why did cleanse come through? That has nothing to do with your career. I felt like the 10th house is the most public part of your chart. And when we're in 10th house transits, we're very visible to others, and we are more susceptible to their projections. So it felt like an important reminder to cleanse off others' projections, release expectations from other people, expectations that you've placed on yourself based on your family of origin or your family of choice, but any pressures that you have that are impeding your accomplishments and what you hope to build and create in this world, take a bath, take a baño, like let them go. But yeah, I think cleansing and maintaining a energetic cleansing and protection like habit right now is very important for Cancers and Cancer rising. So King of Swords. To me, the King of Swords is a card of wisdom, boundaries, and logic, right? Like using your logical mind, and also like strong ideas as well. And so I think that just blends in really nicely with, if you're gonna protect your energy, you've got to hold some boundaries. Don't be afraid to have a sharp tongue, like the way that the king is holding his big sword. But yeah, use your words. Your words are power.
Yeah.
So
I also think Cancers hold everything in. And I think the cleansing makes sense to just like let it go. You know?
So true.
Yeah. All right, we're at Leo.
What do you have for us?
Okay, so I was actually thinking about this because it's like telling a Leo your own message. Like,
I can't wait.
I do think it's very auspicious that Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is exalted in the sign of Aries in the 9th house, which is like the house of the god, right? That's where the sun has its joy. I think that's super auspicious, and that's why they say people with these placements are royalty. And I just keep thinking of like, whatever you want to do, not that eclipses are meant for manifesting at all, but the world is literally your oyster. Again, that's like the word that I'm hearing. I think all the fire signs are going to just kill it. I'm a little biased.
Love.
But I think also it's a time to like get really into spirituality, maybe travel, learn something new, teach something, because again, you have an exalted sun in the 9th house with Jupiter there. Like, I just feel like that's all about expansion in a huge way, in a way that maybe you never have before, because this isn't going to happen again for 12 years, another Jupiter cycle. So you might as well take advantage of this. So I got the 2 of Pentacles, and I'm going to give a different meaning than what most people say, because I don't like that meaning. So I hear tarot readers say that this is balance, and it's not balance. This is Jupiter in Capricorn. This is changing your financial situation. This is expansion in building your empire. Okay, because you go from the Ace of Pentacles, which signifies a year-long cycle of growing your abundance, and you begin with the seed. And then with the 2 of Pentacles, this is, again, like I said, Jupiter in Capricorn. And for me, Capricorn is not about girl bossing. Capricorn is not like a workaholic. No, those are all capitalistic archetypes. Capricorn is a builder. Capricorn ultimately is a yin feminine earth sign. This is all about building structure that is conducive to your own fertility and your creativity. And no, I don't also think this is about juggling. I think this is expansion. It's in the figure 8, infinity, which is like really when you start from something very simple as an Ace of Pentacles, and you start growing and it starts to multiply, you realize that abundance is ever flowing and that you've always been abundant anyway. Twos are the number of union and about partnership. So this can also mean maybe you're gonna be in partnership with somebody, you know, because it's Pentacles, but also Pentacles for me is worthiness and value. So I think this is an auspicious sign that whatever you're growing, whatever you're expanding, it has a lot of luck. Again, Jupiter in Capricorn. Thank you very much for my TED Talk.
I love that. I love that. And that resonates as a Leo rising, I have to say.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay, Virgo. 3 words came through when I was thinking about Virgo. Green, ground, and tree. So what does that mean for you, Virgos? I think incorporating the color green, wear green, look up greens, the meaning of green, light a green candle, get a plant, hug a tree. Yeah, it was very, kind of stereotypical earth sign energy, but it felt really, really important. I think grounding was the main thing that came through. So grounding into the earth, placing your palms and your feet and visualizing energetic cords going into the core of the earth, and accessing the renewable energetic source that lives within the earth, and replenishing and sending gratitude can bring you back into the present moment. And I think this eclipse is taking place in your 8th house. The 8th house is a place of vulnerability, fears, anxieties, our psyche, what we sweep under the rug, and finances. Sure, like on a practical level and capitalistic level, yes, you may have changes with your finances, but I think ultimately the 8th house is a place of transformation, but it's the kind of the tough transformation. You're facing your fears. So how can you arm yourself as you move through this transformation process? Because once you emerge into the 9th house, you're feeling optimistic and expansive once again. But this is an intense period, and shifts and change and grief and loss and all sorts of different feelings can emerge. So extending yourself forgiveness and compassion, but also tending to your physical being, reconnecting with earth, I think will be really healing at this time. And Empress.
Oh, so good.
Empress is the card of Venus. She's surrounded by earth. Look at that. Trees. Okay. So and there's some greenery there. So this is a really important time. I think that just reaffirms everything that came through, but also highlights creativity. So if you are going through a dark night of the soul of some sort, engaging in creative practices, hobbies that make you feel joyful, abundant, and youthful. And then also knowing that this is a fertile period. So you're going through, you're sorting through deep and intense emotions, memories, but it can lead to something really, really powerful and life-changing with the Empress.
I love that card.
She's the best.
Oh, yes. Such good vibes. Okay, so we're in Libra. Yeah, Libra, 7th house, partnerships. A new beginning with your partnerships, one-on-one partnerships. As an Aries Sun, I'm always like, what's it like to be a Libra? Always having to consider partnerships in your everyday just existence. So maybe this solar eclipse and these eclipse cycles happening in your 7th house is how can you retain your sovereignty and your own power within relationships? And I think that will lead you to have more aligned partnerships. So you don't have to get into any people pleasing, because that is a shadow side of Libras. People pleasing, codependent situations. So let's see. I do the 3 knocks too.
I love.
Okay, Libras for the solar eclipse. Wow, we're going through these pretty quickly.
They're just flowing. The messages are flowing.
Ooh, okay. Okay, Libras.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What'd you get for them?
The Knight of Cups and the 9 of Cups. Hello.
Oh, we love to see it.
Who's manifesting a love partnership? And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun.
That's name a more iconic trio.
Hello.
Especially in matters of the heart. That's beautiful.
Jealous. Okay. Literally, this is manifesting your heart's desire. This is manifesting your divine partner or somebody who you've been wishing on a star for. Because the Knight of Cups, again, knights mean movement. So somebody's coming towards you with an offer, and his, hers, their cup is open. It's they're like, come on, I'm ready for your heart. The Nine of Cups is, I believe, Venus in Pisces. This is like, all my dreams are coming true. I cannot believe this. It's happening. It's happening. And then the Sun, hello. It's like happiness galore. I'm okay. I'm just going to leave it at that.
That's beautiful.
You're all manifesting a partnership or something amazing.
That is like the most spot on tarot pull you could have for this eclipse. So bravo.
For the 7th house of partnership.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Scorpio. So what came through when I was thinking about Scorpio was a little interesting. So resources, that word came through. Rue and seesaw.
Oh.
So Scorpio is having this eclipse in their 6th house. That's the 6th house of day-to-day routines, habits, health, but also like conflict and like just I think of feeling overwhelmed, right? Like too much to do. And resources and seesaw kind of came through together, and it wasn't so much about like your own resources, but also checking in on like other people's needs. And that kind of made me lean into that seesaw a little bit of like finding the balance of, are there people that you can help support? How can you reach out for the people in your community that need a little extra help, or just show up in that way? Or vice versa, if you're someone who struggles asking for help, I bet you are Scorpio rising, then balance the seesaw and ask for help, like don't be afraid to reach out. And rue is an herb that's fantastic for banishing and for protection. So I think, whether it's like having a bath, steeping some rue and taking a bath with it, or drinking it or incorporating it into your food, but just using that for some sort of protection. If this is a busier time for you, because the eclipses are probably going to kick up activity in your 6th house, you might need that extra strength to just honor your boundaries and to stay laser focused on whatever big project you are working at right now. Okay. And your card, your card is the 7 of Swords.
Sorry, I'm laughing.
I hate this card. And I think
that card is like Scorpio in like a card.
And it is about, I think that's where the rue comes in. This is a card of deception and betrayal and trickery and strategy. So I think like on the positive side, this is a reminder to act strategic. And if you are feeling like you've got it down, continue with what you've got. Like it's working for you. But if you do have hints or intuitive feelings of betrayal or unspoken motives, or especially as Pluto is shifting into an angular house for you, use some rue for protection. And yeah, if the seesaw is balancing far, too far in one person's direction, how can you, rebalance the scales, take back some of your power? So yeah.
I feel like it's been a rough couple years for Scorpio risings, because obviously Pluto entering Aquarius, the nodes in the South Node in Scorpio, but then also Mars retrograde. I feel like it's just a good time to like chill out
and to come back into like the present moment with your routine. Absolutely. Yeah.
Go back.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we're at Sagittarius. Again, fire. So all the fire signs are experiencing, except for Aries, is experiencing a trine, which is like the most harmonious aspect in astrology. It's literally one of those aspects where like it's divine, like you just receive something amazing. Obviously, if they're malefics, you never know. It could be in the negative side, but I feel like for Sag risings, this is in the 5th house, which is all about fun, creativity, and romance also. Okay, Sagittarius. And have you ever dated a Sagittarius man? They're super fun.
Sure have, for a long time.
Just like, they're super chaotic and fun, but it's really hard to pin them down.
Lots of on and off can take
Oh
place
yeah,
with the Sagittarius man.
oh yes. And I get the Fool, which is, yeah, starting
So on point.
so on point. Yeah, I mean, an anaretic degree solar eclipse and having eclipses in the 5th and 11th house, this is like fun. These are the most fun houses and the good fortune houses in astrology, 5th and 11th. And I think you know, Aries being that sign of like leaping and the net will appear, and also having Jupiter in the 5th, it's all about expanding through creativity. So whatever it is that you have your heart set on, it's literally the universe is saying like leap and just do it. Because what I love about this card is that there's a dog here, and dogs in the tarot talk about loyalty, and they're different from the cats. So like if you look at each of the tarot cards and see which animals there, and then there's all this yellow. And so this really symbolizes like being supported by the universe. And if you being supported by the universe through the loyalty, which is symbolized by the dog, if you follow your passion, the yellow and the sun. So it's like the universe will only meet you as far as you will leap, basically, the Fool, Uranus energy.
Yes. Oh, I love that one.
Yes.
Perfect. Short and sweet and perfect. Oh my gosh. Okay. Capricorn. So this one was like what came through when I was thinking of Capricorn, rainbow. And I was like, what? That is like the least Capricorn-y thing ever. Capricorn associated with the color black. But yes, they need it. Yeah. And this eclipse is taking place in your 4th house, which has to do with home, family foundations, roots, generational patterns, the past, nostalgia, release, all those things. And when I was thinking more about, I'm like, why did rainbow come through? And I was thinking about the different pieces, the different colors of a rainbow, and how they represent and reflect every part of your story. And when they come together, they create the uniqueness that is you. So I think this is going to be a season where maybe some old triggering memories come up, but everything that you have gone through has made you who you are. And it is part of your story, but it doesn't have to define you. So this can be a period of release. And yeah, the rainbow makes me feel like almost recognizing the silver lining of it all, or having some sense of like healing around it. And lavender also came through. So working with lavender, maybe put some in a little pillow, sleep with it. But that's a very calming energy, and you're going to need a lot of rest because you have the eclipses taking place in your 4th house, which is a very private part of the chart. Oh, I got your card. I'm on a roll. 5 of Pentacles. So yeah, you know, 5 of Pentacles, these are some sad people. All right. They're not thriving. They're not living their best life. They're in the snow. They're outside. They're chilly. But I would say that they're going through a season maybe of grief, of isolation, of feeling like replaying the stories and the memories that are painful and triggering. And this eclipse paves a way for releasing some of that and for witnessing your own transformation and growth. So I would just say allow yourself to feel what comes through, and know that it's a season, just like the snow will melt in that card.
Yeah. I do think that these more negative cards, quote unquote, is very eclipse energy though, because not everybody is going to have like a yay.
We can't just pretend that everybody gets a rainbow and a butterfly, because it's just not true.
Exactly. Like I think some, based on where your placements are, some people are going to experience the and an age and cycle and phase that you're in. Some people are going to experience, I guess, the more positive manifestations of this, and some people are going to be very, they're going to be in it.
Yeah,
it's just like
true. Thank you for naming that.
Well, because I'm always like, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, but the duality, right? There's duality in life, so that's what that comes up in ratings. It's just
Yes. Okay. So Aquarius, here we go. How are you liking Pluto?
Yeah. If you are an Aquarius or you have Aquarius rising, please leave a comment. Let us know, what has Pluto and Aquarius brought you so far? How are you feeling?
Are you okay?
A vibe check.
You just had Saturn, and then now you have Pluto. It's like
oh my God, Laura. Well,
like I said, everybody is going through something, and actually the Ten of Swords is an ending of a cycle. This is about facing your fears, and it can all be in your mind. It could be a limiting belief or a belief system that has been calcified, because you are ruled by Saturn. And if I could say, as a moon and Venus in Aquarius, sometimes we have this fixation in our mind about something that we think we're all like free and liberated and like quirky, but like Aquarians, I have to say, are the most stubborn. And I heard someone say that, I think it was Anne Ortley, she's an astrologer based in New York, that the CIA recruits Scorpios and Aquarians because they're so like obsessed with research and thinking. And so what I'm trying to say is, this is a time to let something go, something that's not allowing you to move forward. And like I said, I was joking around, but I really do wish you all well, that like you just had Saturn through your first house, or wherever Saturn or whatever Aquarius placements you have, and now you have Pluto. So it's like literally a death and transformation of who you've known you've been, and it's just the beginning. And so they always say release and let go, and that can be harder, that can be more challenging said than done, because oftentimes we hold on to things out of safety. We will stay in a job, we will stay in a relationship because it's the known, versus risking the unknown and like letting that go. It's like that saying, the devil but again, like this is a series of eclipses, so it's like little by little you chip away at something, and whatever you need to do to feel in your body safe first, embodiment and somatic work can help you. Because also another thing about Aquarians is we're all up in our head, and we're all in the cerebral area, and we need to drop it into our body and our hearts. So you're almost there to 10, which is an ending of a cycle.
That's a perfect card for them, truly. And in the distance of that card, I believe there's like a dawn that's coming up. Yeah. Right. So, it's just moving through the serious emotions and what's coming up. Exactly what you said. Yeah.
You can do it.
All right, cute little Pisces. So a couple things came up for you. wind and wander on your walks. Now, the eclipses are taking place in your second house. So that is a house that has to do with your resources, your possessions, your relationship with comfort. And it's like a physical house, you know, like your senses as well. You may experience big changes related to your finances, or, you know, offers on work, or perhaps you're making a big purchase. This is also our values. So you may experience big shifts and changes related to your values as well. But what came through was completely unrelated to that. It was the wind. And for me, when the wind came through, I just had this feeling of, when you're walking, when you're driving, whenever you see the wind moving through the leaves of a tree, pay attention. What are you thinking about in that moment? And trust that it's your intuition talking to you in some way. It's the earth trying to get your attention and waving at you actively. So, and that felt very second house in the sense of your senses, right? Like paying attention to the way that your senses are activated by nature and throughout your everyday life. And then I also just saw wandering on your walks. And if you are a daily walker, amazing. If you're not, maybe incorporate, if you're able to get out, that's wonderful. But going on a different path. I was shown not like my route that I normally go on, but they showed me a different path. So making sure to take in new vistas, even in your neighborhood, take a different commute on your way to work, but just inviting in change in a small way, I think would be really good for your mutable selves, Pisces. And your card, Four of Pentacles. So this is a money card. This is about control, stability, and holding on to your wealth. So if you are experiencing shifts and changes related to your finances, there may be a desire to hang on and to clutch, but eclipses bring fated shifts, beginnings, and endings. So this is a period that you may need to surrender and just kind of see what fate has in store.
It's beautiful.
So I just want to say, for anyone who is listening to these messages, whatever cards came up for you, do some additional work. Google it. I believe that like little sentences that you read in descriptions are meant to find you, and they may awaken something within you. The symbols that came through from Laura and I, Google those too, because the same way, like little messages are going to find you that need to find you. But we hope that these were resonant, and let us know if they were.
Yeah. And also, like you mentioned, check your sun, moon, and rising, but we really do read for the rising signs.
Yes.
But I hope everybody has a beautiful solar eclipse and eclipse season.
We'll be reporting back on the lunar eclipse in Scorpio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So enjoy the chaos, surrender, and take care of yourselves.